Hello everybody, welcome back to the SBGamefun channel and to another episode of Crimes and Punishments. We are here in 221B Baker Street and I don't want to see Sherlock's head, so I'm going to go into first person. There we go. I like this mode better. Maybe when there's need for it I'll switch out to the third person, but I like this one. It's a much easier on my eyeballs. And movement wise. Okay, so we are here back in 221 B Baker Street. Let's take a look at what we need to do. We need to search the archives for the Rock of Gibraltar. The names of the ship and the date of the Lady Brackenstall and her maid's voyage from Australia. So we're looking for a potential suspect. Research. Where are we researching? Newspapers? Let's take a look. So we don't need to do that in research. Okay, hold on. What is this? Chemistry, toxins, wounds and injuries, criminology, martial arts, marks and symbols. Wow, there's a crap load of stuff we don't need. Okay, so let's move to newspapers. So the newspapers gives us look some dates. 1884, 1885, 1887. Let's go to 1893. There we go. Rock of Gibraltar's arrival. There we go. Okay, let's read this. The arrival of the Rock of Gibraltar is ship returned. The Rock of Gibraltar, a bulk carrier from the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, Cunard Building, James Street, London, has returned from a 6-month voyage from India, New Zealand, and Australia. The ship brought to England Miss Mary Fraser, the heiress of the Fraser family, owning land and tin mines in Australia. This reportedly beautiful young lady is presently engaged to Sir Eustace Brackenstall, one of the wealthiest gentlemen in Kent.
Here it is.
So, she arrived. She's an heiress of the Fraser family. Mary Fraser is her name. Miss Mary Fraser, heiress of the Fraser family, owning lands and tin mines in Australia. This reportedly beautiful young lady is presently engaged to Sir Eustace Brackenstall. All right. So what does that do for us?
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
The specialist. And that means we need to call in. Oh, hold on. We got a tab. What was this now? Task for Wiggins. All right. So that's the specialist. His street urchins. So let's call. Where's Wiggins? Is he somewhere down there? Let's call him. Wiggins, me boy. Me boyo.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893, and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Good work, Wiggins. Yes, sir, Mr. Holmes.
I left it right on the table for you, sir.
I left it right on the table for you, sir. Okay. Thank you, Wiggins. Okay, which table did you leave it on, young lass? Or lad, I should say. Oh, is it here? Yes, it is. The register.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
November the 7th. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Sorry, I got text. Got work text. Alright, let's take a look at this real quick. Who do we have here? William Partridge. We have no William Partridge. Herbert Whittington. Nope. Thomas Walker. Nope. Ernest J. Woody.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Yep. Henry Southward. He's not on here. Oh, yes, he is.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Yep. Jack Crocker. Nope. He's not on this list. Charles W. Chills. Nope. Let's take a look at the next list. Charles Chills, the captain.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Okay. Thomas Walker, Herbert Hawkins. He was with this captain too, so he was gone too.
I do not think that this sailor has any connection
Oh
to
no,
the
Hawkins.
case.
I'm thinking Whittington. I'm looking for Whittington. William Partridge. There you go. Partridge.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Okay, so we need to find these three guys. Thomas Walker, Herbert Whittington, and Jack Crocker. Or whatever it is. Let's go over here. Jack Crocker is another captain.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
There you go! Exclamation mark. So let's finish off our search and look for Thomas Walker. Thomas Walker and Herbert Whittington. Let's see if there's anyone else. See if their time frame fits an alibi for them. Here's Thomas Walker, and I don't think he is.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Yep, these two gentlemen, Herbert Whittington as
This
well.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
All right, so we are looking for Mr. Jack Crocker, the Rock of Gibraltar. He was probably, here's the captain, Charles W. Chill, and he was probably the senior officer. So what do we have? Call Crocker to confront him. All right.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
All right, so we completed search for sailor suspects. So we need to call on Crocker. Call Crocker to confront him. So our young friend, so he said, okay, hold on. I want to take a look at the, yeah, we were looking for a sailor, so we got our sailor. Boy, this quest went by pretty quick, so let's talk to Wiggins here.
Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
No problem, Mr. Holmes. Sometime later.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes,
Why?
it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Alright, so we need to... Let's do a character profile. He's determined eyes. Or something. Clear look, honest. Alright, he's an honest man. I have no idea how he determined that, but... It is no... Oh, what is this? Fancy garb. Strong build. So he's got a sailor's physique. Nothing about the hands. His ship. Oh. It's got dirty hands, or what is that? Newspaper ink. So he's been reading the newspaper. Evidence of it is on his hand. He's not married. And he's got these funny looking boots. Sailor's boots. I don't know. Clean boots. So he's got clean boots. Newspaper ink. Collar. Oh, what is this? Buckles. Oh, look at that. He's got a knife. A sea knife. Let's ask him about Lady Brackenstall.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right, if there was no evidence.
What then?
You tied her up. That's right, the sailor's nuts.
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Sailor's knots.
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
Okay, so we completed calling Crocker, so let's take a look at our stuff. Crocker statement and Captain Crocker. Captain Crocker knows Lady Brackenstall, but he may be lying about his occupation on the night of the murder. Captain Crocker is the only sailor who was aboard the Rock of Gibraltar with Lady Brackenstall and her maid. and who is currently in London. Is that associated? Yes. But is that... Crocker's lying. His involvement is clear. He appeared as soon as he heard that I was looking for him, thus signaling his guilt. No, I don't think that necessarily signals it, but it's questionable. The captain is the killer. Sir Eustace was murdered by one person who was visiting that night. The murderer is tall and agile, and high-ranking sailor. Arrest Captain Crocker. Jack Crocker is a murderer, and you will bring him and his accomplice, Lady Brackenstall, to justice. Or absolve Captain Crocker. The murder was committed in self-defense. Jack Crocker defended a woman against a violent and dipsomaniacal man. The mystery is solved, but you decide to keep it secret. There is no need to inform the police. This is actually how the story ends. And this is how I would do it as well, because Eustace Brackenstall was a drunk, belligerent wife beater. So he, in defense of himself and of the lady, Captain Crocker killed Brackenstall. So I believe that to be justified homicide. So I'm going to absolve Captain Crocker and keep the information to myself. Confirm your moral choice? Yes. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Barely an hour has passed.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no, 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 no. I didn't see that stupid W.
Please forgive me, Captain
Achievement.
Crocker. I wish
Hold
only
your...
to test your sincerity, and your
Hold your
words
something.
and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
Well, see, I was not expecting it to give me that you can call it a quick time event, where I had to respond, and I missed the first W, but I managed to get the second one. So, okay, so let's wrap this up here. The Abbey Grange affair. Sir Eustace was murdered by Captain Jack Crocker, who was visiting Lady Brackenstall that night. They staged it as a robbery by the Randall gang. Crocker used his sea knife to cut the bell rope to tie the lady, and then hid the silverware in the well. Jack Crocker defended a woman against a violent and dipsomaniacal man. You have decided to keep it a secret. So let's take a look. Yes, we are. Captain the Killer. 16 clues. We accept the decision. People who solved the case, 94% solved it this way. And 64% of the people made the same moral choice. So just a little more than a little more than half decided to keep it quiet like we did. All right. Vox populi, vox dei. That was our achievement.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
And there we are. Start of the new quest. The Kew Gardens Drama. And we just wrapped up the Abbey Grange affair, but we will follow up with the Kew Gardens Drama. Is that what it's called? Kew Gardens Drama. Yep, Kew Gardens Drama. we'll follow up with that on the next episode. Appreciate you joining me on the end of the Abbey Grange affair. I hope you enjoyed it. But again, we'll follow up with the next case on the next episode. If you like my kind of goofy content, make sure you click on subscribe and click on that bell to get notified when I upload new content. And I hope to see you back here on the next episode. Until then, have a good one.